Donald Trump's government is now ticketing people who aren't carrying their papers. What happened to all the dudes flying those "Don't Tread on Me" flags? My name is Brittany Page, and this is the Page Perspective. Before we get to this very disturbing story of a man being detained and interrogated and then cited for not having documentation of his status as a legal resident, I want to say that the No Kings protest is this Saturday, October 18th. If you are planning to go, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Just share which city that you'll be protesting in so that we can see that community mobilization in action. Part of why we need to be out in the streets protesting is the lawlessness and daily human rights violations being committed by ICE. ICE terrorism explicitly directed by the Trump administration and joyfully supported by the Republican Party, which of course recently greenlit over $150 billion for immigration enforcement, including $45 billion for building new detention centers. But remember, guys, we can't afford to fund Medicaid, SNAP, affordable housing for the poor and working class. No. All of the many billions of dollars are instead reserved for terrorizing our neighbors. And this whole stopping people and asking them for their papers, this has been going on since Donald Trump decided to step up his terrorism of undocumented people. Here in DC, there have been checkpoints where federal agents will stop people in their cars and ask them for their papers. Thankfully, with government overreach and abuse comes opposition. And here in DC, we've seen community members who set up just before the checkpoint to warn people about the feds, giving people enough time to turn around and avoid these papers, please checkpoints. Now that terrorism of DC is spreading to other cities, most recently and most notably, Chicago, where residents say things are worse than we could even possibly imagine. In addition to kidnapping our neighbors, assaulting journalists, and pointing guns at citizens who are recording, ICE is now asking for papers and citing those who are not carrying them. It's full papers, please, in America. And the "Don't Tread on Me" bros are nowhere to be found. Reading from this absolutely critical reporting from Gregory Royal Pratt of the Chicago Tribune, quote, Ruben Antonio Cruz was sitting with a friend in Rogers Park when ICE agents pulled up onto the street. The immigration officers stopped their truck and went straight after them on October 9th. Cruz told the Tribune, quote, they asked us if we have papers. I said I do, but I don't have them on me. Cruz, a 60-year-old man with heart problems, originally from El Salvador, recalled in Spanish. The agents stood Cruz up, put him in their truck, drove around in circles, and asked questions, he said. Where was he born? What is his name? Who is his mother? Who is his father? Quote, I told them they are dead, Cruz said. The agents said they needed the information anyway so they could look him up in their databases. Eventually, the agents verified that he is, in fact, legally in the country, and they let him go, but not before writing him a $130 ticket for not having his papers. Cruz's friend, who is homeless, did not have legal status and was taken away by the feds. Happening right before our eyes, everybody. And I hate to say it, but somewhat of a miracle that Ruben wasn't actually taken despite his legal status, because we've seen so many recent examples of ICE taking people with legal status, taking people who are citizens. Last week, we saw a reporter named Debbie Brockman violently assaulted and detained. She was later released, but those filming her assault rushed over to ask her name because some people's only chance at accountability here is someone rushing over to document the crimes, document that someone is being detained. ICE is shooting pastors in the head with pepper balls while they're praying outside of holding facilities. ICE shot a protester several times and before shooting her said, do something, bitch. They called an ambulance for an injured protester, blocked the ambulance from leaving, and then threatened to shoot the driver of the ambulance. I'm linking to all of these articles in this description so that you can read them for yourself, but I'm sure many of you have seen your own examples. Share them in the comments. How many photos, how many videos have we seen on social media of this lawlessness? Now, some will say, is this a lawful ticket? Can they do this? There is a requirement for non-citizens to carry their documents with them at all times, but it has been a matter of enforcement. And this is not something that is typically enforced until Donald Trump. Reading again from Chicago Tribune, quote, "The National Immigration Justice Center in Chicago told the Tribune it has not yet seen any of its clients receive this sort of citation, but it's part of a recent push by the Trump administration to ensure immigrants register with authorities and maintain their documentation to them at all times or face potential penalties. The Immigrant Legal Resource Center calls it a, quote, hateful tactic meant to, quote, cause panic and fear throughout the country. Quote, America has never been a place where people need to show one's papers. Ticketing a lawful permanent resident and forcing him to appear in court and pay a fine for not carrying their papers is unnecessary and cruel," said a communications director for the ACLU of Illinois. "It does not make our communities stronger or more safe. It is simply part of the Trump administration's attempt to make life uncomfortable for all immigrants. It is just awful." Absolutely. And it also flies in the face of what we're told about, number one, going after the worst of the worst, and two, how busy and stressed and consumed with getting the bad guys off the streets these people are. Yeah, no, not when you have the time to go out and harass people based on their appearance and skin color and the type of job that they're doing, and then cite them when they don't have their papers. This article also mentions citizens who have been stopped, including one woman who was stopped and detained and zip-tied. Her name is Maria Greeley, and they told her she didn't look like a Greeley, and they didn't believe that that was her name. Because she works in the service industry and because she's Latina, she says she carries her passport with her in these cases because she knows that she will be targeted, and still she was zip-tied. I'm being serious about these don't tread on me people. Is this not the government overreach and abuse that should mobilize people who are worried about government overreach and abuse? Or is the racism just too potent for this to stir any kind of alarm or upset? You know who actually cares about human rights? About the Constitution? The people mobilizing their communities to protect their community members, documented or not, from these abuses. People like this homeowner in San Diego who refused entry to ICE when they tried to kidnap a plumber working on their home. Quote, "Federal immigration agents conducted operations in Logan Heights and southeast San Diego on Friday, with community members capturing footage of the enforcement actions that resulted in mixed outcomes for authorities. In one incident on 32nd and Webster Street, masked Border Patrol agents attempted to arrest a plumber working inside a Logan Heights home, but left empty-handed after the homeowner refused them entry. Cell phone video shows the 30-minute back and forth between the agents, the homeowner, and community members who gathered to protest the operation. The homeowner told agents she would not allow them inside because the warrant they presented did not include her address and lacked a judge's signature. Community advocates with Union del Barrio, which conducts immigration enforcement patrols, supported her decision. Quote, "Based on that, we were able to maintain not only our presence, but she was able to defend her constitutional right not to let them in," Benjamin Prado said. That's right. We can and should oppose these efforts to terrorize our communities, and we need to support our neighbors, and not just because people who are citizens are being targeted too. No, we should support our communities because it is the right thing to do. It is wrong that people are afraid to step outside, afraid to walk their children to school, afraid to go to work, afraid to go grocery shopping, wondering when they will encounter an ICE agent hopped up and ready to stomp on their rights, eager to stop them based on their appearance, zip tie them, interrogate them, ask for their papers. I hope this is a turning point for people who have historically defended ICE, defended the police, suggesting that things like the defund the police movement went too far. I think we're seeing every day that these movements were reasonable, correct, and moral. These organizations have been able to act with impunity, and now we have the opportunity to be the opposition. Record ICE. If you see someone detained, ask them their name, how to contact their family. Show support to those who are targeted. Don't let ICE in your home. Stand with your neighbors. Abolish ICE. I'd love to hear from you on this. Please share your thoughts in the comments below or call and leave me a fewer than 3-minute voicemail at 202-656-1509 or send an email to info@thepageperspective.com. You can always support my work by becoming a channel member. For as little as $1.99 a month, you can click the join button below to do that. Or you can go to patreon.com/idoubtitpodcast. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel by clicking the subscribe button. That is free. Please feel free to follow me elsewhere on social media. I'm on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. And as always, thank you so much for being here. Take care. I'll see you next time.